What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. The NBA Bits here. It's Friday. It's Friday, if you will. Hopefully, this is coming in clear and sounds good for you guys. I saw the StreamYard, which I used to stream to the tubes, was having some technical difficulties today. But listen, that was their warning, not mine. So, it's not on my end. I know Snoop Loop's going to come in here and try to blame it on me. It's not on me today. We got a fun one. I think today will be more of an efficient show. I had sketched out a little agenda for today, but much like a fake person winning an award and being like, "I'm actually going to throw this away and speak from the heart," we're gonna save some of this stuff for next week. And what we'll do today is cover last night's Minnesota Memphis game. That was kind of the only exciting game. We'll kind of take a look at the weekend and what matchups to pay attention to, and just take a look at the standings, stuff like that. And then we'll get on out of here. We're not going to be in here too long today for a couple of reasons. One, there's not a lot to talk about. Also, it's laundry day over here in the Zakarian household, and we're on a timer. Just a reminder, today at 4 p.m. I know we normally do it at 5. We're firing it up at 4, live before lock. Our guy John from the So Rare team is going to be jumping on the show. We're going to be breaking down the playoff contest we have over there on So Rare NBA. And then we will get into the last game week of the regular season. We've made it. We've gotten through the Filipowskis, the Jamal Canes, the Damian Baws. We've gotten through all of that part of the regular season. We finally get to enjoy some play-in and some playoff basketball. So I'm excited about that. Common Man, absolutely right. We could talk about Salah return to Liverpool. We could talk about Wrexham coming back soon. Hacks is back. Lots we could cover. Sneeps is in the chat. We got D Rose in there. Love to see everybody. Also, fun little announcement, too. We've got a new show starting next week, which it's going to be, if you are a Celtics fan, you will enjoy it. If you are not a Celtics fan, you might not. But we've got a new deep dive going that I think is going to go like 4 videos a week or so. A new Celtics-focused YouTube channel that I'm partnering up with another company. And that we'll have like the official launch of that on Monday. But contracts have been signed. So we should have some more sweet content coming for you here. Again, outside of the NBA bit / team hold universe, but still something you are legally, contractually obligated to support. So that's what we got going on. All right, before we get into Minnesota, Memphis, the one thing I wanted to start with is the Denver Nuggets. So we talked about the Nuggets coming back and beating the Kings yesterday, right? A little bit more information has trickled out of the Malone and Calvin Booth firing, right, with 3 games left before the regular season ended. We already talked about how Denver like legit, I think, is still a top 4 team right now in the West. Right now in the Western Conference, they're sitting at the 4 seed. They have 2 games left. They'll play tonight and they'll play on Sunday. But more information has come out, and we kind of speculated this a little bit. I mentioned after our breaking news show that we did that we had some inside sources, some NBA sources. Look at us, year 5, we've got sources now telling us that Jokic was in fact on board with what was going on. There's been a little bit of a spin zone since then. Ramona Shelburne and company just dropped a long piece that I'm halfway through on ESPN. But and I know we already talked about it, how Kroenke was like, well, I was planning on firing him in February, and they won 8 games in a row, so couldn't do it. Which I guess is true. D Rose, we were saying that. Yeah, he gets screwed by the Sacramento Kings too. Because Boogie was out for an extended period of time. Malone was like their most honestly, they haven't gotten a coach as good as Malone since then. But it sounds like that we knew that Malone and Booth really did not get along, that there was some real infighting there. But it sounds like that kind of, shout out Richard Nixon, a little trickle-down effect is what happened, right? So the animosity, the angst, the tension between those two camps filtered throughout the front office, throughout the coaching staff, and I think even the players were kind of, just that environment that's created, it's contagious, that's why you say fake it till you make it, because that shit is contagious. And you saw some of the infighting too within the team. And it's, all of that stuff happens all the time, right? Where you have players in that it's an 82 game season. You're going to have ups and downs. You're around the same 12 guys the entire season. Of course, you're going to have these moments where things blow up. However, when the vibes are bad and the lens is focused a little bit more clearly, those moments can feel a little bit bigger. And we saw some of that, right? The way that Russ was talking to the media lately, how Aaron Gordon was firing up with Peyton Watson. There was also a clip of Aaron Gordon trying to huddle everybody on the court, and Jamal Murray was blowing him off a little bit. So it seems like that had kind of trickled down. But for me, the biggest takeaway from all of that, it does seem like Jokic gave him the thumbs up. And I don't know if this was almost like a heist movie or something where somebody was wired. And so Jokic didn't actually say anything, but kind of opened his eyes a little bit like, yeah, blink twice if you agree. That's kind of what it sounds like happened. So Jokic's point of view from this, he says that Kroenke, Kroenke, the one who officially fired those guys, met with him before it was public information, before Malone had been fired, before the team had been told. And honestly, this is the right thing to do. Jokic is the best player in the world. You're not a major market team. You want to keep your best player as happy as possible so he stays there as long as possible, right? We can all agree on that. So Kroenke talks to Jokic and kind of informs him. And this is how Jokic says it went down, that he was told of the decision. It wasn't a discussion, but that he was informed of what was happening. And then the inside reporting on that is that Jokic was okay and on board with that. So it sounds like the tough guy from Queens, Michael Malone, had worn a little thin. You can only get yelled at for so long. And I mean, honestly, I forgot he had been there for like over 10 years. I didn't realize it had been there that long. I do think there is something to be said where you win a title, you should get a little bit more grace period than what Malone got. I mean, they just won a title not too long ago. Flip side of that is that you have this window right now with Nikola Jokic, and as Kroenke said, and I'm not trying to agree with the Kroenke, that's not my vibe, but he did say we're trying to squeeze as much juice out of this season as possible. And if you were like, well, there's no shot, we've got no shot with this current vibe here between Malone and Booth, then you got to do it. DJP said no notification on the Discord. I'm sorry, DJP. Did that throw you off? Us doing the show every single morning at 9 a.m.? I know. I'm sorry, DJP, but I'm glad you made it 9 minutes late. Okay. Welcome to the show. But anyways, I think that's the takeaway there from Denver. I think it's easy to overreact. We did it with Memphis, right? Memphis won a couple of games after Taylor Jenkins was fired, and everybody was kind of like, maybe firing the coach was the right idea. And then we'll talk about what Memphis did last night, or what they didn't do, really. And then Denver, same thing. You went out and beat Sacramento. I'm sorry. I'm not really interested in the Sacramento discourse. I don't really think they are very good. I don't think they're very good. So I don't know if that is a good litmus test for what the Nuggets can do. I mean, I think if you're glass half full, best player in the world, you've got a shot against anybody in the playoffs right? Because that's the thing every talking head likes to say. When it comes down to a 7-game series, it's really about who's got the best player. So if you are a subscriber to that belief, then hey, Denver's still got a shot. Right now, they'd be playing somebody like the Clippers or the Lakers or the Warriors in the first round. And I think a lot of those are toss-ups. But again, Jamal Murray is still yet to play. It seems like he's getting closer. Shout out Neo. It sounds like he's getting closer. But if he's not good to go, I mean, we can just continue to yell this from the mountaintops. The Denver Nuggets will go as far as Jamal Murray goes. Let's take a coffee sip here. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go. DJP, I know. I'm just messing with you, brother. Also, speaking of bruh, in it, did you see Saturday Night Live starting a London SNL? Do they have to be British actors? That's something I've never thought about. Like for the SNL that we have in New York, do you have to, like, it's not like you have to be an American to be on the New York SNL, right? So like, I don't know. I guess it just seems kind of funny. I mean, good for them. Bruh, and it. That's all I got. All right, let's keep going. Let's talk about Memphis last night. Joker Rock down bad. Joker Rock was down bad last night in the Discord. A lot of conversation around the refereeing, which I will say the refereeing was a little sus as we got into the third quarter. It seemed like one team was allowed to be physical, the other team not so much. You know what, though? You know what also helps? just fucking defending at all. And that's not what Minnesota. That's not what Memphis did, man. And listen, that's not something that's new. It's not like Memphis has always been defensive or defending at a high level, and then they're like, oh, the refs didn't let us defend. You've been giving up a million points this entire year. Last night, no exception. Again, Memphis went into halftime with a lead, right? They were up 4 points at halftime. And then Minnesota came out in the third quarter and punched them in the dick. They doubled them up in the third quarter, outscoring them 52-25. Anthony Edwards was incredible last night. 13 for 19 from the field, 7 for 11 from three. Also got to the line 13 times, finished the game with 44 points, 5 boards. Julius Randle was great. He had a double-double of 31 and 10. He also had 5 dimes as well. 4 of the 5 starters in W Figs. Rudy gave him 13 and 8. Jaden McDaniels 10 and 5. And then big old Naz Reid gave him 14 and 6 off the bench. Nah gave him 10 off the bench. So they got to the line 28 times compared to the Grizzlies, who got to the line 21 times. I will say it was a pretty special offensive game in that first half where Ja Morant was going back and forth with Anthony Edwards. You can see Ja's numbers were pretty electric last night, 13 for 27 from the field. Started chucking a little too much from the three-point arc, but went 5 for 13. Finished the game with 36 and 6. Triple J, he got himself into some foul trouble. He turned back time like a former Minnesota Timberwolf. Karl Anthony Towns just was fouling the F out of everybody. Desmond Bane, man, continues to have – I know Ja Morant's the one that pulls out the guns, but Desmond Bane has the quickest trigger, I think, in the league right now from three-point land. 6 for 10. But there was one where I think Nah was on him. And I don't know how he got the shot up. It was so fast. It was so quick. Got it up, knocked it down. Bane is like one of my favorite players to watch, I think, right now. Maybe it's just it looks faster than it is because he's got those Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. But anyways, good stuff from Memphis, but from Minnesota. But Memphis just did not defend. And this is the constant with them all year long. Like, they don't get up on people. Anthony Edwards was doing whatever he wanted last night. And I think this, you see a rookie go down before the playoffs and you're like, oh yeah, but Memphis is pretty deep. The biggest glaring thing that we saw last night was how important Jalen Wells was on the defensive end because they didn't have any on-ball defenders, right? They rolled out Vince Williams Jr. to start. He played 18 minutes, but he's not that guy. Santi Aldama played 30 minutes and Scottie Pippen Jr. played 32 minutes. And Scottie Pippen Jr., listen, SPJ is nice. He is like, I think, a better version of Tyus Jones, to be honest. And like the Tyus Jones stuff makes a little bit more sense of him leaving in the manner that he did, because of what they have in SPJ, but he's not the defender that Jalen Wells is. And yes, Jalen Wells has like some Peyton Watson in him in the sense that you never really know what you're going to get from him offensively, but what he can do defensively makes up for what Ja and Bane and company can't do. But yeah, this is ugly stuff from Memphis defensively. Just kind of let go of the rope in the third quarter. And they just weren't calling a timeout either. It was clear Minnesota was doing something different to start the second half. And they just deer in headlights as Minnesota ran away with it. Pretty important win for Minnesota too. This game basically was like, hey, do you want to play in the play-in or not? In Minnesota, after dropping that game to Milwaukee, just got smoked, a 34-3 run where they should have absolutely won that game. Basically had a shot at the 4-5 seed, and now we're playing for their play-in lives, if you will. So they moved to 47-33. The Grizzlies, with that loss, dropped to 47-33. Now let's go, and like last night, let's cover these games, then we'll take a look at the standings. Pistons won a game 115-106. I don't think you overreact here. Karl Anthony Towns and Brunson played under 30 minutes. Clearly, Tibbs was trying to get their guys right. No Josh Hart, no OG Anunoby. Cat finished with 25, 10, and 5 in that time. And then, I don't know, Precious had a good double-double, 18 and 10. But the story really was Cade was awesome. 36 points and 8 dimes. Again, no OG Anunoby, no Josh Hart. But I do think this is one of the concerns if we do get a Knicks-Pistons first-round matchup, is that Cade is just a big-ass guard, man. And then you're going to have to throw somebody like OG Anunoby on him. I don't want to say this, man, but if they do throw OG Anunoby on him, is it Tobias Harris time? Is it Tobias Harris time in the first round? Right? He's a New York boy. He's from Strong Island. Something to think about. Something to think about. All right. And the other games last night, I mean, Atlanta played Brooklyn. Who cares? Pacers actually got a sneaky big win. And I apologize for discrediting or disapproving of somebody's comment yesterday saying, like, can the Pacers actually catch the Knicks? It is now in play. I still don't think it's going to happen, but it is in play. Pacers win by 2. But, man, look at this. This is the starting 5. Jared Allen played 16 minutes. Cavs have already basically said they are going to go easy on their guys here down the stretch, which is going to be important, as I'll show you here in a second. But you got Dean Wade, Hunter, Allen, Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome, baby, 24-6. Hunter at 23-11. For the Pacers here, they ran out their starters full minutes. Hallie had 23-10. Neesmith, a big offensive performance from him, 22-6. So pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff from him. Pacers get the W. And then the Bucks got to win 136-111. The Pelicans weren't playing anybody. Pelicans weren't playing anyone. Oh my gosh, you guys, this might. I just need to tell you guys how sensitive. This is a me problem, not anybody else's problem. This is just a me thing. I'm just like so sensitive to smell. It's such a weird thing. And I just got like hit with something and it was an immediate headache. So I apologize if I got like, I feel like I am in Mortal Kombat, and you know when you get dazed after you get hit? That's what it feels like right now. It's wild. There you go, DJP. The comment was, the question is, do the Pacers want to play the Bucks or Pistons in the first round? Probably the Bucks. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough because I can't tell like what Doc Rivers is talking about, because it seems like before and after every game, he goes out there and says things are looking up for Damian Lillard. I just don't see him playing, though. I just don't see him playing. You just got a smoothie all over your shit. Well, Boston Base, I'm sorry that happened, but I am happy you're back in the chat. You know, I feel like we haven't seen you in a while. And then we've got the Hawks beat the Nets. Who cares? And yeah, I mentioned the Pelicans didn't play anybody. So let's go take a look at the standings here. And let's get a feel for it. So I mentioned the Eastern Conference, right? So the really the only thing we're deciding here, the Bulls are going to be hosting the Heat in the 9-10 matchup. The Magic are going to be hosting the Hawks in the 7-8 matchup. It seemed Pistons have a 2-game gap between the Bucks, right? So the Bucks are locked in at the 5. Pistons are basically locked in at the 6. But then you have the Knicks and the Pacers are just 1 game separating each other. So if we look at the schedule, man, I might have to stop the show here in a second. I feel like whoo. Wow. All right. If we look at the schedule here, we've got tonight, the Knicks are on a back-to-back. They play Cleveland. Cleveland's also already basically said they're resting guys, right? We were just talking about it. I don't know how the Knicks are going to handle it. It would make sense if Brunson and Cat got the rest tonight. Although I think Brunson's still trying to get over 65 games here for all NBA. Let's see. Let's check the Jalen Brunson. He's at 64. So Brunson's going to at least play one of the next 2 games. So that's pretty big. And then Indiana, do the Pacers not? Oh no, they play Orlando. Now Orlando's been, they don't really have anything to play for. They've already like ruled a bunch of guys out. So we'll see how the Pacers take it. And then when you look at Sunday, Indiana plays Cleveland again, and then Knicks play the Nets. So my gut is both Pacers and Knicks, or they stay where they are. So that's the 4-5. Let's go look at the West here. Let's go look at the Western Conference. All right, so we've got Lakers. Lakers have a 1-game lead over Denver. Denver and the Clippers have the same exact record, right? And all these teams have 2 games left. Then you have Warriors, Grizzlies, and Timberwolves all with the same exact record, and all only 1 game back of the Nuggets and Clippers. Now, let's go look at these schedules, back to the schedule again, because I do think this is pretty important, right? So for the Western Conference, let's see the teams that stick out here. You got Minnesota against Brooklyn. The Timberwolves play Brooklyn and Utah. They should go 2-0 outside of anything weird happening. So they should be in the driver's seat. Memphis, on the other hand, are on a back-to-back tonight. They go to Denver. So they have to play in altitude now after a tough game last night. Denver is a little bit rested, so Denver, I think, would have the advantage here. I imagine they will be favored. You get Golden State against Portland, which not the easiest game, but whatever. And then Lakers and Rockets, Clippers and Kangs. Now, the Clippers will be playing this one to win. Lakers will be playing to win. Houston, I don't think, needs to win this game. I don't think we're going to see the Rockets go full hog here. So I imagine we see those guys rest. The Sunday games, Memphis takes on Dallas, which should be a little bit easier. However, we'll see how Dallas approaches this game. You've got Denver against Houston, which, again, Houston, nothing to play for, locked into the 2 seed. So a lot of this weekend is going to depend on the teams that are locked up, like the Thunder, who I imagine have already ruled everybody out, the Rockets, who are locked into the 2 seed. Like, how are those teams going to approach these games? That is going to decide a lot of the seeding here. But my guess, if we had to look at it one more time, we're going to see this go Oklahoma City, Houston, LA. I kind of think we're going to see Denver win their last 2 games because I do think Houston's going to rest everybody. So I think I would go Denver, and then Denver, then Clippers. Then I would go Minnesota, Golden State, Memphis. But because I do think that Golden State game, Golden State against the Clippers, is kind of going to decide everything. That's going to be a fun game Sunday. I think we should actually just go ahead and say it now. Let's go back to the schedule. I think we're going to play back that game on Sunday. Let's just say that right now. What time does that start? 3:30 Eastern, Golden State and the Clippers. It's in the Bay Area. I think we just go ahead and call it now. We're going to do it. That's what we're going to do. So that's the weekend that is. Very excited for it. Very excited for it. I don't really care too much about the games tonight. I think Memphis and Denver is the most interesting. But again, I think we're just going to see a lot of these teams resting guys. Golden State at Portland, do they choke it out? And then deciding, waiting to see what Houston decides to do. So that's what we got going on. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's covering the league this morning. Again, a little bit more of an abridged show today. We've got some splashy sports that were out there. We're going to shout out actually Jeb Bush. Actually, Jeb took it down last night, I believe. If we go to let me share screen here. Let me share screen. Stubbs in the chat. Let's go, Stubbalicious. Let's go. So if we go to my channel, let's go to finals. The Thirsty Thursday, we can see our guy, actually Jeb Bush, taking it down. We finished in 6th. Let's see. Let's look at the Jeb lineup. Had Giannis Antetokounmpo, Ja Morant, Bobby Portis, who had like 4 points at halftime, finished at 26. Carlo Matkovic, KPJ was the differentiator right there. I think I went Elf Payton in that spot. He had 47 points, and then Deucey McBride. We got a contest going tonight. We got a little Freaky Friday, if you will. Let's build. Let's build. Where's the builders? All right. This is, again, it's going to be tough because we don't know who's playing. So I think you're going to focus on the teams that are trying. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Giannis sit tonight because, again, they're kind of locked in. If everybody, it's hard to play anybody but Jokic here. I think we just take Jokic and move on. Harden, I think, is a really interesting play here in Tier 2. Ant-Man on a back-to-back in a blowout spot, I'm not as intrigued by. I'm not really interested in the Celtics so much either. I think I would just kind of lean Harden here. Also Steph, but if Tumani's playing tonight, I don't know if Tumani's been ruled out yet, but if Tumani's getting the Steph assignment, no thank you. Kawhi, J-Dub already ruled out, like we said. I'm not touching the Knicks. Jaren Jackson Jr., I think most people will go to Ja or Bane or Kawhi, even Booker. Triple J, bigs against Denver. They just kind of cook Denver all the time. So if I had to pick ownership-wise, I think Ja would be the most popular click, followed by Kawhi, the second most popular click. I think I'm going to go Jaren Jackson Jr. in this one to get a little different. Again, look at all these guys that are out. KD is out. Chet's out. Jamal's game time decision. Honestly, Elf Payton might be the most intriguing here. I don't know if you saw his line last night. He had 15 assists in 25 minutes. Didn't really score the ball that much. But again, I don't think Orlando's going to be trying. DeRozan's kind of interesting. DeRozan is kind of interesting in this matchup. You could get to Dyson Daniels if you wanted. I think I'm just going to click Elf Payton for now. Then we got Kobe White against Washington, which if they're trying is going to be pretty good. We'll have to see what the Houston situation looks like. Austin Reeves could be fun. If they do rest Amen Thompson, my guess is they actually rest Jalen Green in this game. But like Reed Shepherd was playing a ton of minutes, and if that happens... Also, Ty Jerome could be fun against the Knicks if the Cavs do rest everybody. I'm assuming Denny doesn't play. Duran against Milwaukee could be fun. Sarr against Chicago. Let's throw Ty Jerome in there for believe in the land, right? All right, Freddie game time. You got Lonnie Walker. Khalil Ware, I actually like Khalil Ware tonight. Also, Jimmy and Draymond could be fun. Let's just throw Ware in there. There you go. So we got Jokic, Harden, Jackson Jr., Peyton, Jerome, and Khalil Ware. I wasn't there for last night's LBL. Yeah, Bobby's overs are fun. I could see them like resting a lot of their guys though. The So Rare live before lock, if you missed yesterday, I'm gonna make you go back and watch it. The one thing I will say about baseball this week is I don't think you need to focus on stacks this week. I think you can just go out. I think you just go out and play the best plays, if you will. We're still waiting for the rewards to drop for this past game week, but I think we stuck in tier 1 here. 54th. Yeah, we finished 54th, so we're going to get 271 essence there. We'll get a tier 1. We finished 54th. This squad had the old Bazaroo. And then yesterday, McMahon we got a total of 30 from him. Tovar missed the game. He only had 10. But it was Doyle going for 63, Churio going for 69. Say it with me. Nice. That got us there. So that'll be fun. I will say it looks like we might get Yankee PPD, if you will. And also Baltimore, Toronto. So that's something to pay attention to. But maybe we'll talk a little bit about that tonight. Reminder, we're starting at 4 tonight. We're starting at 4. John's coming on. We're going to spend the first half of the show talking about the playoff structure, and the second half of the show getting into the last game week of the regular season. Then we'll have some playoff content next week. I'm excited we're finally getting ready we're going to have some supercharged content next week. That's what I'm saying. All right. That's what I'm saying. And then again, yeah, if you missed it at the top of the show, we've got a fun Celtics announcement coming next week. We've got a new channel that we're going to be spinning up that I'm working with our company on that is going to be like, I think we're going to be putting out 3 to 5 videos a week that are all like, 10 to 15 minutes long, just breaking down all things Beantown, all things Boston. So whether you are a Celtics fan or not, you're going to be legally required to go over there, smash the subscribe, watch all the content, like the videos, all that stuff. But that'll be a change of pace, all recorded, none of it live. So excited to see how that pans out as we head into the off season. Because as you guys know, the off season content is where it is at. But that's going to do it. A quick 30 today. A quick 30, okay? We got to finish laundry. I got to go air out the house, I think is what I got to do. Yeah, sorry for I thought it was going to be a shorter show anyways today. I did not. It was like I got hit with a hurricane. So we're going to call it there. But we'll be back at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go watch No Dunks. You got plenty of time now to go lock into No Dunks. We'll see you guys this afternoon. We out ski.